Karen's always fond of saying that you should be whole before you get into any relationship. If you're not whole before you get into a relationship, you're going to have fragmented problems throughout.
Welcome to the Love Is Podcast with your host, that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and her co-host, the lovable a-hole, that's right, I said lovable, Mr. DK Walker, where they will be discussing love, relationships, family, life, sex, self-help, and what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Why? Because love is everything, and everything should be loved. Now to today's podcast.
Hello, everyone. It's your girl. It's that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, alongside my co-host, the lovable asshole, DK Walker. DK, say hello to the people.
Hello to the people.
Wow, that was pretty nice.
I mean, you know, tonight is young. Podcast episode is real young. I promise you, I'll get worse when we go on. So, yeah, I'm going to start nice. I'm going to see if I can maintain that. No promises. None.
I wouldn't hold my breath. Are you going to sing to us this episode?
Well, it depends, though. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know where that comes from. Like, it just, like, the spirit jumps on me to sing. Like, and see, that's just the thing. Like, most people that can't sing, they kind of like whisper to hide the fact that they can't sing. Okay, Benz, though I can't sing, I sing loud because I want you to know that I can't sing.
And be offensive to other people's ears.
No. It's like, you know.
Yeah.
It's like vegetables, right? You got to have an acquired taste to certain vegetables and certain foods. Like, to hear me sing it's acquired hearing to your ears, you know?
Oh, well, my ears say no.
You need more. You got to, don't be so quick to judge. Don't be so quick to judge.
Okay. I'll work on my adherence to your singing.
One day I hit a note that won't hurt. One day. I'll never know. One day. Like, I can stop and never get to that day, right? So we got to keep going
as long as it's not the Mariah high note, we all right.
Moving along. You're just going to insult.
I'm proud that you caught that.
Nick Cannon rolling around his grave. Anyway.
Nick Cannon is even dead. Talk about Nick Cannon rolling around in his grave. What?
I'm just, it's Charles Barkley line. Anyway, catch me up, man. What's going on with you?
No COVID, post-COVID beauty regimens. The eyebrows probably could use a little cleanup. I mean, vanity reigns supreme. The grays are coming through a little bit, so it's time to do a little bit of touch-up work.
Right, you can only hide, the touches of Father Time for so long, right? He's going to peek through. Like
I'm gonna be like my mama. At 60, I'm gonna stop coloring my hair, go gray, cut it short, and that's it.
Right. Okay.
That's the goal.
Okay, so you got 20 some odd years, not the date, you don't put your exact date, but you got 20 some odd years before you touch 60, right?
Right.
And by the grace of God, God will grant me life to see those 20 some odd years. And I'm willing to bet, right. Thank you. I'm willing to bet, but when that comes around, you'll still be the same lovable, but vain Karen that's going to dye all the gray out of her hair. That's a bet I bet the house on that.
Which one? Yours or mine? Or both?
Both.
All right. Well, just make sure you got your paperwork.
Not a problem.
Just make sure you got your paperwork ready to sign. But I am excited to say I'm definitely gonna be like the last episode, bringing sexy back. If you have not listened, definitely go click the link, pause this right now, run back. So my body vest came in last night. My sea moss is on the way.
Okay.
It's gonna be real. It's gonna get real sexy around these parts. Trying to drop 40 pounds. Like I did last summer. Jesus,
right. Right. You bringing sexy back. So okay, are you bringing sexy back for you, or are you bringing sexy back for someone? So what's inspiring this latest transformation?
The latest one? I mean, I was in the gym before COVID.
I'm not knocking that, but you
bought new headphones, bought new gloves, because I keep tearing up the ones that go over your hand. So I have the ones that go here, and there's like a pad here versus it being a full glove, because I keep tearing it in the crease. I don't know how, but I do.
Right. So you're not going to say podcast listeners like I love my fans. They're not slow, and they see how you said something, but you didn't answer the question. Only thing you said was that you were.
Said for me.
Oh, you said for you?
I did.
Right.
I was already in the gym pre-COVID.
No, I'm not knocking this, but it's a difference between being in the gym, right? So people, like, my thing is, like, if you're healthy, being healthy, eventually that'll turn to being sexy. So that's number one. The first thing out your mouth is that you want to bring sexy back. So, like, is there anybody that you're bringing sexy back for?
Now I see where you're getting at.
Right. No.
Right.
Don't do that stuff.
Okay. So
right.
we'll do the first part. Here? Yeah. We'll be honest. 1, no. 2, I did cash it. I am cashing it on a date though. Come Saturday morning. Date
Saturday
number one
morning?
goes down. Saturday morning, date number one goes down. It's breakfast.
You nervous?
No, I probably will Saturday. Saturday, I'll probably be like, I'm gonna walk myself through everything I should say and should not say.
Oh,
those
really?
Listen, he's really wholesome. He doesn't curse, but his black guard is questionable. He don't like Anita Baker. Like, who does that? Like, what? Listen, anybody who doesn't like Anita Baker makes me question your childhood, because I'm like, what did your mom and daddy listen to when they clean the house on Saturday morning?
Well, okay. How old is he? First of all, do you do you
He's
know?
the same age. Do I know? Yeah, bro.
I mean, a lot of people don't know like the half of the half. Like, but I'm glad you're getting to learn. Your new beau, right? So don't knock his hustle because he don't like Anita Baker. It's cool. Like sometimes that's once again
that he doesn't like.
Say again?
So, Anita Baker is at the top of the list. There's a lot of other ones he doesn't like, and I'm like, who raised you?
But nonetheless, you're still going out to breakfast with him Saturday. So
Yes.
That being said, the next podcast we have, I am going to continue my quest to get as much out of Kern as I possibly
like the Spanish
can.
Inquisition. It's like dealing with my brothers.
No. You let's see. Help me. What I am doing since I am married, I am living, through you. So it's not about you. It's about me living through you.
It's not
right?
worth it. The dating scene, it's not worth it.
Oh, for sure. Like all y'all crazy.
You were like, oh yeah, I give you that.
Yeah, but be single forever. Like hug a pillow. Yeah.
We only do this. Listen, this is probably the first date, and I can probably say 3 years.
For you?
Yeah, 2 years, 3 years. Yeah.
So why the long hiatus?
Because I don't like dating.
Okay.
I don't. I really don't. I don't like the whole pomp and circumstance. And
so, what makes him special for him to be that exception to the rule?
He's really smart. He's really knowledgeable on a lot of things. Like he's a big but music buff. So I mean, his conversation is good. He's a good conversationalist. So I'll give him that. He's nice.
Okay. I'm assuming he's easy on the eyes. That definitely plays a factor, right?
He's not ugly.
Rest my case.
I mean, who?
Because Seal, I love Seal, right? Because Seal did that.
It's by a rose seal.
How many seals do you know besides the one that's swimming in the doggone ocean? Yes, that seal.
What about him? How did he come into play?
Okay, you said that your boyfriend, your beau, is not ugly.
I didn't say boyfriend. You
soon
said
to be. I'm sorry. I'm putting the horse before the cart.
Way.
Right.
It's just a potential suitor.
Okay, potential suitor. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. But like I said, Seal was Mariah. I forget her name. I believe she was an actress, and she was Heidi Klum. Was it Heidi Klum? Right.
Actress.
Right. I said, but they're divorced or divorcing now, right? But they had a great 20-some year run, and he still looked like the same Seal 20 years ago as he does now. So it's not about the looks. Maybe because he can sing, had a high note, or
It's because he can sing.
Or maybe because he's big boned it.
Not big bone.
Who knows?
He's not big bone. He's tall.
The joke with big bone.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, exactly. But Heidi got it on a regular.
Oh man.
What?
Gosh, you live up to your name every week. I promise.
How did you miss the joke? It was a setup and you didn't. Mm-mm. You walked around and ain't walked through it. You fired.
Yeah. I'm tired. Oh, okay. Remember this tomorrow morning when I don't show up to work.
Okay, cool. Anyway, how's the family?
Everyone's living in their body. I haven't, that means the children have not gotten themselves into trouble. The 2-year-old is marching to the sound of his own beat, still refusing to eat. He's not on hunger strike, but he's just very particular. Like he takes a bite of food and then he's like, no, thank you. I'm like, what you mean? No, thank you. No, thank you. Like, no, that's it. You get one chicken tender, takes one bite. That's it. That's dinner.
And he's not hungry no more?
No, he's in constant. This is the issue. He's in constant play mode. So he's tunnel vision.
A young man is my heart, and play mode.
Comes in smelling like all outdoors. Like I never knew outside had a smell till I had kids.
It's called being fresh. Like kids coming, you smell fresh. Yeah.
No, I just want to put them in the pool and
hose them down.
Yeah. Just go jump in the pool. Be all right. I'm back.
You terrible. Don't forget you was a kid once, and you too came in the house smelling fresh.
Yeah, I probably did, much to my mother's chagrin, but it is what it is. But yeah, everybody's fine. Work is fine. Unfortunately, COVID is kind of, I don't want to say coming back on the rise, but it kind of is. We're seeing more cases of it now come back. Just kind of as we were seeing it die down, we were starting just to see normal things. It's back. A lot of people went out pre 4th of July weekend and went to this place called Put-in-Bay. You gotta take the ferry there and they partied and everybody's got it now. I'm like, that was real smart. Y'all went up to Put-in-Bay, which really just drunken shenanigans on boat and literally on an island, and y'all went to go do that, no mask, and what did y'all expect?
Yeah, it's hard to deny people their regularities. Like it's like people like, so you know me, man. I have this whole, I don't know, I'm a different kind of guy. My whole thought process with the COVID-19. Yes, I do believe something's real, but just people need to be safe, need to be smart about what they're doing in their day-to-day lives. If you're not going to be careful for yourself, be careful for others. If be considerate for whatever's going on around today. I will say that. So people are just going to be who they are. You can't deny them their everyday life, because as soon as they get the first opportunity to get back to their everyday life, they're going to run straight back to it.
Put-in-Bay is not everyday life. Put-in-Bay is you drunken shenanigan weekends. Yes, you're used to doing it every year, but at this point, you have to be smart enough to say.
But we talk about people being creatures of habit, are we not? So personally, like habits are hard to habits are hard. You saying no? Habits are hard to break, and you have to be conscious, right? So you have to be conscious of that habit. So if your habit is, this is my event, my yearly event, I'm going to go to it, and soon as that window opens, I'm going to this event, irregardless of what the media and people are saying that's out right now. People are going to do what they do. That we're just people of habits.
I have 4th of July in my house every year. Guess what? Last week, one of my girlfriends, was like, I had to get swabbed again because she works for the state in the city. And so she was like, in the event that it comes back positive, I got to quarantine 14 days, blah, blah, blah. She was asymptomatic, didn't have it, but the scare of it, was enough. I was saying, like, listen, none of this is worth our lives. None of it is worth any of us getting sick. So I said, let's just do this. Let's cancel this year.
Okay,
Everybody
but
was in agreement.
That was you, and you are the exception to the rule, right? You have more people that's going to be like, that's because you're smart, because you work in the medical field. So you're seeing COVID
every day.
Right. Every day, right? But we're talking about people that some believe it there's something there. Some people believe that it's a political ploy, or whatever the case may be, right? So they're going to throw caution to the wind, and I need to get back to my life. Like, my life has been, usurped for long enough. So, it is what it is. People just be safe.
Right. So what's going on in your world in Maryland?
Same old, got some office space. My wife is putting me out the office that we share.
Got the eviction notice.
Yes. She told me to get space. So long story short, all the stuff came. My bookcase came. My pictures came. The whole nine. So I'm putting that together. Should be together this weekend. So she will have her office. I will have the man cave / my office, which I'm ecstatic about. It's coming together nicely.
It's gonna look like the wall of hip hop stars.
I wouldn't say necessarily so. Like, there's one. Okay. Well, most people. I got one picture, and that's a biggie, because I think he's the greatest storyteller of all time. Like, the rule of thumb is, if you write, then you need to read. That's the rule of thumb. So in order to be a great writer, that you have to read. That's not necessarily true, because everything is story. I mean, everything is story. So you listen to music is story, especially talking about hip hop and rap, right? So like, in my opinion, is very biased. I think Biggie was the greatest storyteller of all times. So he gets to place on the wall of fame, him and of course Muhammad Ali, because he's just great, across the board, the greatest, and it has nothing to do with boxing. Just Ali's just the man, period, point blank. So, and it's coming together. So what I will do, once it does come all the way together, I will post pictures on our IG page to show people that, yes, although I've been evicted from my space here, I do have new digs, and I'm ecstatic about it.
You're moving out of pure romance into the man cave.
Yeah, I'm tired of having rubber things behind my head. So
they're not rubber. First off, they're silicone.
Like, how? I don't even want to know the difference. I just know that my wife moves them by the boatload. So as long as she's moving by the boatload, I have no problem with that.
I'm not knocking the hustle. We're definitely not knocking the hustle. She does very, very well for herself. Her and the team, they do a very good job.
Facts.
Yeah, she ready to start having parties again?
No. Everything's online and virtual. That's crazy. That was like Nikki's biggest hang up, was like, before, like, COVID has been a blessing to so many people. I know it's going to sound odd to say, but it took her from her comfort zone of doing live parties in house, right? And she wouldn't do so well online, through the whole social media dig, right? And so when COVID hit, she had no other choice but to adapt. It was either adapt or die, job-wise, right? So it got to a point, I'm looking at her like, bills got to get paid. With you, like, I love you. I know you married, but you can get out for real. Sounds kind of harsh, right? I don't mean that literally. Oh, maybe I did. But long story short, she hit the ground running. And like, I don't know, it's because, people still needed to have their needs met, even doing this. And so therefore they brought more product. They brought, did more partying online. But like when I say her and the team is like murdering the game, I'm like, at this rate, I am going to really quit my job and you can go ahead and support me. She looked at me like, yeah, and then you'll be getting out. I'm like, okay, I'll go to work.
Busted.
To say the least.
Cool. So we are going to actually skip what the fuck news today. I'm not really sad about it.
You're not?
No, nothing really just made me, giggle like I normally do.
Yeah, because you have that inner darkness. Although you're right, you have that inner darkness that get off on what the fuck news.
I do. That's why it's my favorite segment, because it's all the things that you kind of like. It's almost like I wish I would have wrote it myself. Like I scripted it myself and it made the news. Like that's weirdly what it is. Is that some of the stuff that I find, I'll be like, who wrote this? Who? And then of course it's like universal. Like, here you go.
But the thing is, how is it that you have a keen eye of finding the most strange news? So that says it says a lot about you and what you attract, right? So right.
Yeah. That's probably why I didn't go on a date for 2 years, because I just didn't want what I was trying to evolve. Trying to evolve into a better person. I don't know if it worked or not. We'll see.
We'll see.
We will see. Well, today, guys, alongside being the lovable asshole, Mr. DK Walker, we have a guest, which happens, every blue moon. I think we're going to try to get a little better about it, so you guys don't have to get so used to seeing us and hearing us, because, we get on each other's nerves. And we're going to start getting on y'all's eventually.
Man, so I doubt it. They love us, because they be like, really? They do.
They do. They like the shenanigans. The crazier the episode, the happier they are. Because I tell you, when I walk into work the next day, so tomorrow, about 12 o'clock, there's going to be a conversation had at my desk about the podcast that came out tonight at 7 o'clock. They going to complain to me about smoothies and advice and things we said. And the thing that I love, though, is that my coworkers, I've only worked at my job since October, and the thing is that they were like, the podcast is so the real you, like the me that they get every day that the patients don't see, whether we talked about relationships or whatever. They were like, that's really you on the podcast. I was like, I don't know who you expected. I really don't. I think the radio voice kind of threw him a little bit, but beyond that, I'm like, nope, it's just real me.
Okay, cool.
Less filter. I think that I have at work, which is saying a lot.
Right. So what happens is the packaging doesn't match the content. So you look and then you hear the professionalism, right? Mm-hmm. And then you listen, like, what? What? Is she capable of even have those thoughts? So yeah, that in itself with those people for dudes. Right. Well, people see me and they're like, that fits. He looks like something's wrong with that guy. He looks like right.
Bless the Lord. Oh my soul.
Amen. Anyway, you want to introduce our guest, please?
I do. So today, guys, we have a guest, Miss Jessica LeeAnn, and she has graced us with her presence today. Miss Jessica, say hello to the people.
Hey, people.
She has been listening to the whole banter, guys. She didn't feel like jumping in. She probably was sitting there scratching her head like, what is wrong with these two people?
Or better, she was asking herself, like, what in the hell did I get myself into?
Right. Why did I say yes? Why? And then the thing about it is that our guests get double teamed by us. So you do the introduction or I do the intro, then the other one goes in and is like, so here we go. Here's what we do.
Yeah,
I did give her fair warning, though. I did give her fair warning. My hand to Jesus, I did give her fair warning.
You did.
I did. And I told her she could jump in. I mean, we're not those people.
She did.
I did. So we did a good job, DK. We do a good job. What can I say?
What can you say? You can finish the introduction. You want to run through and then get to the get to?
Can I do me?
Oh, Jesus. Somebody hug her. Jesus, I just asked her.
Why are you so bossy today?
You know why I'm bossy today? Because this is the only time I get to act like a boss. Like my 10-year-old tell me what to do, my wife tell me what to do, and the dog look at me like, and my dog looks at me like I better know what to do, right?
Listen, so MJ is the boss, though. You know this and I know this, so I don't understand why we just don't go ahead and say it. MJ is the boss.
I'm about to ship her little monkey ass to Ohio. That's what I'm about to do.
Listen. I got a 13, an 8, and a 2. Like, what more damage can she do to my psyche? None.
Okay.
None.
Right.
But since the boss said I gotta continue with my introduction, let me continue with my introduction. Miss Jessica LeeAnn is a best-selling author, editor, and international author coach. Say that 10 times fast, DK. Jessica has been writing for over 15 years, has published 15 books, and she enjoys writing her own books, but she's more passionate about teaching aspiring authors how to successfully write and publish their own books. As well as they're finding their signature and unique brand. To date, Jessica has worked has worked with over 200 authors. You will be able to find all her social media handles, as well as DK Mind, the podcast, and our text-only phone number in the show note. So again, thank you, Miss Jessica, for coming through and hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're so welcome. So DK, you want to start this part off, or you want me to do it since you're being bossy pants today?
Boss, please, by all means, ladies first. Ladies first.
I knew he couldn't resist it. No, he couldn't resist the music interlude.
What?
So we saw a video on Facebook that Miss Jessica had released, dealing with being in a very personal space and about healing, and it moved the both of us. And so we asked her to come and join us to discuss that video, which we'll release on our Facebook page as well as our Instagram. We'll share it with you guys so you guys know what we're talking about and go from there. So DK, what were your thoughts about it?
First of all, I loved it. And I loved the she was really transparent, right? You know what I mean? She, just before we hit the record button, I asked her what moved her to actually go down that road, and she said she had just left church and was on her spirit. And of course, me always, thinking forward, like I was like, well, this needs to, go as far as it could go. Like the video was 4 minutes and some change, and the comments was always, I love it, I love it, I love it. I need to share this. Can I share it? I love it. Like, so it was like everybody felt what she had to say, and I wanted to delve deeper into that message. So since I I hit her up in the DMs, I'm like, yo, you want to get on the podcast? And she was like, yeah, I'll do that. And I was like, yes. And so therefore we get to go deeper in, because I think I said earlier that COVID, it gave a lot of people gifts. And one of those gifts is to actually honestly self-assess. And in doing so, you'll get to heal. But before I get to running my mouth for my 2 cents, because I can be long-winded at times, I'll let our guest expound upon that great video that she shared with FB, and now she's going to share with our listeners. Okay, Miss Leann.
So, Mr. DK, like I told you before we began recording, I had just left church, so I was already emotionally vulnerable. And I do from time to time post, different videos and comments just about healing and spirituality, just basically because that's where I am in my life currently. And to be more transparent, what actually triggered what I'm calling where I am in my life right now, my season of surrender. And for me, that means that I am releasing any traits, habits, thoughts that of this version of me I was pretending to be. On New Year's Eve, I was laying in my bed and I just heard God drop in my spirit, like, stop pretending. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop pretending. I was in a relationship at the time. I said, I'm going to stop pretending that I'm happy. So on New Year's Day, I broke up with my boyfriend. I know most people are starting the new year with, wedding plans and dates and all these things with, in their relationship. And for me, I decided that I wanted to be single because I realized that I still had some areas of brokenness that I hadn't addressed. And I was really in that relationship because I needed validation. So I decided that instead of allowing some man to validate me, that I'm going to hurting and learn how to validate myself. So that's kind of what triggered that post.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
So Jessica, that's a big thing about relationships, is that a lot of people need to be validated. Do you think it's better to be validated or to be accepted?
Actually, neither. I think it's really you accepting your own self and validating your own self and not putting that pressure on other people, because if they don't validate you or they don't accept you, then you're looking at yourself like, oh, what's wrong with me? And it's like, nothing is wrong with you. You are who you are, and they can either compliment that or they can't.
Absolutely.
Right. We had did a previous podcast, and one of the topics were that, you're responsible for your own happiness. Right.
For sure.
And so nobody should, you should never give nobody that power. And that was a lot for you to actually, deem yourself to breaking up with your boyfriend at the time. Did you think that was necessary? Do you think that you could have, started the true healing process while being in a relationship, or was he part of the problem?
Yes, I do think it was necessary because I was already having whatever feelings of brokenness I had before we even got together. So honestly, it wasn't even fair to him for me to enter into that relationship, because now I'm expecting something from him that he don't even have the capacity to give me. And so it was really my own responsibility, like I said, to validate myself and to really just do my own self-healing. And also I feel that whoever I'm going to become outside of this healing process is not the person that he met. So it would wouldn't have worked regardless.
Okay. Well, you know what that reminds me of, Karen? That remember the your male friend got that text from, and she was like, you know, you're the right guy, but you're just not right for me. It seemed like Jessica had that same epiphany about like, look, things are cool, but I'm not looking for cool. I'm looking to be the best version of me that I can be. And in doing so, you're not part of that equation. Is that pretty much about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I definitely get that. And that's a really, really tough thing to do. And I don't want to come off as sexist. I really don't. But a lot of women, you know, feel as though they have to have, you know, a man in their life. They have to be in a relationship. They have to have that just to say that I'm worthy. Somebody wants me, right? I'm talking to somebody out there, like, you know, some women, I won't say all, I won't put everybody in the same cart, believe that they have to be in some type of relationship to for the world to see, right? And so that's putting the horse before the cart. Like the last thing that you need to be in is in a relationship that's not beneficial to you, right? So like Karen's always fond of saying that you should be whole before you get into any relationship. If you're not whole before you get into a relationship, you're going to have fragmented problems throughout. And boyfriends, man friends, and husbands can't fix that, and vice versa. You know, I think somebody really need to catch that today. Like if you get into a situation and you're looking for somebody else to plug the holes that's in your life, first of all, I can't fix what I didn't break. It's not even possible, right? And I think that's, you know, it speaks, you know, largely to you being uber honest with yourself. Like, look, you didn't create these you know valleys in me. I did for whatever reason, right? And so it's up to me to fix those valleys. What are some of the steps that you would give somebody to actually do that?
For me, it was I'm a writer, so I journal, and I think that writing down your thoughts, whether you want to call it journaling or jotting or whatever, but it's just some magic about taking thoughts and actually writing them down on paper so you can kind of just like release. And so that's one of the things that I did, and that ended up leading me to writing a book, sharing, you know, the things that I've gone through, addressing my truths. And then I do I'm definitely believe in affirmations, you know, affirming myself, affirming goals. And I love doing, you know, transformational and personal development exercises. One of my favorites is it's known as the mirror exercise, and just staying in front of the mirror and just affirming, you know, I love you, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I'm proud of you, I'm happy, healed, and whole. That's one of my favorite affirmations to say. So those are some things that I have done, and I would encourage other women to do as well.
Right. And, you know, actually, when you said that, the magic about writing stuff down, that's actually a scientific fact. You know, and it's a practical fact, right? And that's a great jewel. I really want people to catch what you just said. If you think about it, if you just have a thought in your head, it's just yours and it's in your head. It's just a thought. And if you don't give it enough energy, you know, it'll dissipate and go somewhere. Once you take that thought out of your head and put it on paper, now it's tangible. It becomes real at that point. Right. So whomever's listening, like that's one of the great things that you can do, because I do that myself. Like, you know, I got so many, and it's crazy. I need to get better organized. I have 1 billion notebooks, and all these notebooks contains either professional things that I need to do or personal things that I need to work on. But I take those thoughts as soon as I can out of my head. I put them down on paper, and they're real. Right. And then what I do, I look at them like, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to work on. And affirmations has been around since day one. You will be hard pressed not to find a successful person that doesn't believe and do affirmation. You'll be really hard pressed. Like, and what I mean successful, they can be successful in their personal life and or their personal life. But you have to affirm who you are. You gotta see who you are before the world sees who you are.
Yes,
for sure.
So Jessica, after the breakup, what was like the next like major thing that happened?
I actually was very depressed. I was very sad, and I wouldn't say that the relationship ended in heartbreak or heartache, but I was disappointed. And really more so disappointed in myself that I even went down that path, because it was so many red flags that I ignored. And, you know, being a woman in your mid-30s, it's like you want to try to make it work. And, you know, at this age, you know, dating men in their 30s and 40s, like they don't always have it together, or they, you know, and so it's like in your mind, well, I'm going to speak for myself, because people have have told me, oh, you too hard on men. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give a nigga a chance, you know, see if he can really step up to the plate. And so I feel like even though that's not my norm, that's what disappointed me. So now I had to go back, you know, during that process. It's like, okay, well, why did I, you know, attach myself to somebody who I know basically wasn't on my level, you know? So what next for me was really affirming to me, like, no, my standards are my standard and my boundaries are my boundaries. And I'm not going to let anybody else, society, tell me that I have to date a certain type of man. Like, no, the type of man that I want, that's what I'm going to go after. So it really took me into a space where I begin to accept who I am as a woman and what I expect from a man.
Okay. Do you believe that you have to be what you want to attract? Like, you know, you hear a lot of people say that, you know, and they're right in doing so. So please don't get this misconstrued. You know, people have to be, and this is my personal thing. Like, we want what we want, but we also have to be what we want, right? You know, we can't want, you know, a dude that got his shit together. We can't want a dude to have, you know, great credit. We can't want a dude that, you know, rocking his own place, rocking his own car. You know what I mean? Just got everything on point. So, and the same thing with men. Men, like, I'm sorry, let me not make this exclusive to a certain sex. Let me make this across the board. Anybody should not aspire for something that they're not they are themselves, or that they're not ready for. Does that make sense to anybody? Do y'all agree, disagree?
No, I definitely agree. And because of that, that's what really made me go through with the breakup, because I realized my brokenness was attracted to his brokenness. And so that's why I decided I'm going to take some time and allow myself to heal, so that when I do put myself back out there today, that I'm not attracting brokenness.
Facts. I got
or somebody that's trying to heal you with something that you haven't addressed yet.
Exactly.
I'm right there with you. I understand. I'm 36 right now, so trust me. The whole dating shebang is, you know, it's lost. It's lost its shininess a long time ago. So I definitely understand. The
problem with you young kids today.
Oh, here we go.
The problem with you kids. The problem with you young.
Get it out.
I'm about to say it. You ain't saying nothing.
First of all, y'all not gonna rush this old man. Y'all not gonna do that, right? Because I'm about to help somebody there, right? So all jokes aside, the problem with the whole, like, y'all lost your way doing courtship. Y'all actually lost it. It's like the simple shit gets people much further than the complicated shit, right? It like simple. Like, the simple shit gets everybody much further along than. And so what happens is, like, we've then maneuvered from to the regular seeing somebody on the street being attracted, or being in the workplace and being attracted to them and then getting to know them, right? So we've moved away from that. And now everything's digital and online, right? So being in the workplace and whatnot, you went to go to say hello to a woman, be civil, right? That can be misconstrued as I'm harassing her. Like, what? I just said good morning. And then, oh, but you was harassing me with your eyes.
You were undressing me with your eyes, not harassing me with your eyes.
Your ass is kind of fat. What you want from me? But
exactly
right.
That is harassing.
How I'm just beauty is. Look, don't.
Listen, you can't trust a big butt and a smile, child.
You can't. But the point, right? The point I'm trying to make is, I think if we all got back to the basics, you know, and I think once again, I think that's, you know, one of the blessings of COVID is forcing everybody to get back to the basics.
Listen, it's really. I'm gonna take this one for the whippersnappers.
Come on, Kay.
She said, "Come on, KK." Listen, I'm gonna take this one for the whippersnappers. What we not gonna do is gonna pretend that social media made it that hard. Social media made it easier for a creep to be a creep. You want to just be sexual with somebody? That's how you get a DM. That's why the song goes. It goes down in the DM.
I'm not talking about.
No, let me finish.
Yes, ma'am. I'm so sorry.
You had your moment, Paul. You had your moment. But the thing is, if you gonna be a creep, you're just gonna be a creep. So all social media did was gave you a bigger avenue to be who you are.
Facts.
What that allowed us as women, though, to do is to accept crap. So we took things like, oh, he's got good communication, which is the bare minimum that a man can do in a relationship, or a woman can do in a relationship, because we're not going to be sexist, and made it out to be, oh, he's amazing. No, he can talk. He should be able to. He should know how to open a door. He should know how to pick up a check. He should know how to dress. He should not call you out of the name. So we started getting excited about the bare minimum and then made relationships out of it. That's what the problem was.
You know, look, so let's say, okay, since you jumped out there, let me go ahead and help you to help you, right?
Okay.
Everything you said was factual. I'm not knocking that, right? A creep is gonna be a creep. Is gonna be a creep. Is gonna be a creep. That's just the life of a creep. And when I say creep, that's not attached to males only. Let's not get that twisted, because some female can be creepy too. Y'all more.
We're prettier.
Y'all more subtle in y'all creepiness, right? Like y'all actually position men to be creepy to get what you want, but that's not what we talk about. So we're not going to go down this rabbit hole. What I said earlier, I do stand by. I just think that the niceties have went out the window. I think courtship has went out the window. I think expectations have went out the window, right? And I don't want to be making this a generational thing or an age thing. I just think that what happens is, we don't allow ourselves to be who we truly are physically or in person nowadays. It's just easier, like in the army, be all that you can be, right? So you can, it is what it is. But online, you can paint this whole picture of being this person this persona, right? So I think like, no. Let's get back to the basics. That's when, all jokes aside, that's my point. Let's just get back to the basics of just being nice to one another, getting to know one another, not taking everything personal. Be personable, but don't take everything so personal.
Listen, it's not about being personal. I need you not to be sexual on the third conversation. How about that?
Look, once again, okay. So, but you can't put a time frame, because we got a post. It's on what you come. You can't put a time frame on, like, because you act like it's a male thing. Women got needs too. Let's not get that twisted. Like, don't do that.
I did not deny that.
But I will grant you, men just have a poor way of showing it. I have no problem admitting to that. Got my hands up.
I'll take the win.
Right. You please, by all means, I'm gonna help you get the win. I'm gonna give you the cheat code. The hell, like we agreeing to disagreeing to agree in the same thing. But I just think that, if people just took the time out to get back to the basics, I think a lot of misunderstandings wouldn't happen. Like, things get lost in translation. I got a problem. I did not cut my phone off. Things get lost in translation because of social media. Like, and I think that's where the whole thing, the disconnect comes in at.
Listen, the death of courtship, I talked about this, and I'm going to say it again. One, we have a high tendency to fall in love with somebody's representative. Women, especially women love to fall in love with the potential of a man and not who the man really is. We need to stop picking projects and just pick the person. Not a project, get the person. And if the person don't add up to what you want, like Jessica said, I have standards. If that person don't meet the standards, then he got to go to the left, everything you own in a box to the left, and move on to the next one when you're ready.
Oh my God.
But my thing of it is that in the representative, you got to kind of stick with somebody to get past the representative. So yes, we can get back to the basics, but he can still pull the fast one with the representative.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're going to swerve this back into forgiveness, right? I just think that is what we're going to do. I just think me personally, like, the word hello is a beautiful thing, right? Like,
yes,
so no. Okay. Before we go back we of course like the Adele version better. That's just me, huge fan. But no. So look, my thing is this here. If you know who you are as a person going in, whether it's online or in person, when you have these standards, then you don't allow the foolishness to come into your life. That's bottom line. You just, once you got let's strip it all the way down. Once you got your shit straight, it's hard no amount of toilet paper can wipe you away once you got your shit straight. That's bottom line. And so once we can't hold fault for people being who they are if we entertain the buffoonery. Like, you can't go to the circus and not expect to smell shit. You can't go to a circus and not to expect to see a clown, right? And so in doing so, you gotta, like, you may be bored one night, like, let me just entertain. And once you start to entertain, now the door's open. Once the door's open, you can't dictate what comes through, right? So you just have to, you gotta, discipline your disappointments, right? Which means stave off your boredom and like, nah, I'm not even going on that road because I know what this is about. I know where this story goes to. It's about me right now. And as long as it's about me, I have standards, no matter how cold my bed gets, no matter how my phone does not ring, no matter how many times I keep going through social media strip, like, oh, he look cute, but I don't know, I'm not ready yet. So I think once you hold on to those things, and then what you want will eventually come to you. And I was joking about the age earlier, but no matter what age you are, but I do believe it's although I've been married, I grew up, but I do have single friends. It's so much harder to date nowadays than ever before, because I do believe we as a people, meaning human race people, have gotten away from the basics. But let's swerve this back down to the topic at hand, please. Unless somebody want to.
Yes, Papa. We'll move on. The young
Papa.
whippersnappers. The young
Papa.
whippersnappers will
Papa.
progress.
I don't have grandkids, and she gonna call me Papa.
I know, I'm the one with the grandchild. I'm one with the grandkids.
Exactly.
So, Jessica, you said a really good thing. You said, you sat there with your disappointment and then you raised your standards. So what does that look like for you now moving forward, going back to dating, or just moving forward in life in general?
For me, when I go through the Q&A process, and I see those red flags, I'm immediately moving on. I'm not giving nobody no chances, because you either have what I'm looking for or you don't. And I am not going to wait until you get it. You and I are the same age. And I don't have time. I feel like that's something that you do in your 20s. I'm not looking to, hold some man's hand while he get himself together, and only because I have my shit together. So I feel like you gotta match what I have. I'm not willing to, be some man's backbone while he try to get himself together. I don't think there's anything wrong to do that, if that's the space that you're in, but I'm not in that space. So when certain things come up that, remind me of past relationships, that's a no, because I know that's not going to compliment who I am or where I'm trying to go. So
yeah, my new motto is you don't get wifely benefits out of a girlfriend situation. If I'm your girlfriend, that's it. If I'm wife, then I'm wife, but the two cannot coincide in the same space.
And see, we're not even doing that. It's either we friends or we gonna work towards marriage. No, I'm not even doing that.
The girlfriend stage
anymore, because it's a very gray area. Because it's like, well, would our wifey? It's almost very similar duties. So it's like, and for me, I don't know how to just drip stuff. It's like, I'm going to give you all of me, and it's like, if you can't handle that, then we're not going to be nothing.
Well, did you hear Jessica use that marketing term? She said, I don't know how to drip stuff. Like, people that were somebody here, that was a marketing term. Use drip information.
Right.
Like I'm on it. Don't even worry about it. I like that. I don't know how to drip stuff. Like, I don't want nobody to take that and go left. Like, that was a marketing term, people. That's what that was.
Yeah, it was definitely wasn't sexual. We promise.
Not at all.
This ain't a Cardi B moment. This ain't a Cardi B moment.
I'm just making sure that, that's my job, to make sure the listeners understand what was being said, Pawpaw's mission in life.
Pawpaw's mission in life. All right.
Pawpaw's mission in life.
So, Jessica, once you released the video, what's kind of like the feedback that you got from it?
A lot of people, they actually liked it. As DK mentioned earlier, they were asking if they can share it, and a lot. If they don't comment, then people will inbox, because for whatever reason, sometimes people don't like other people to know that they're hurting too. Mm-hmm. But I always get compliments, or people bring up how courageous it is, and that I post stuff like that, and they're grateful that I'm transparent. So that's been the message behind that. People just thankful that I was able to share, because it triggers, it's a thing, makes you think like, because in the video I do challenge people to look at their own healing process, and I do understand that it doesn't look the same for everyone. And I intentionally mentioned that because, like I mentioned earlier, I actually just came from church, and even though I grew up in church and I do go to church quite frequently, church people crazy, and a lot of them are very judgmental, and they feel like if you're not going through the healing process the way that they think it's interpreted in the Bible, then you're doing it wrong, and XYZ. So I wanted to really reiterate, like, your healing is not going to look like my healing. But you do need to find what works for you and get to that space.
Healing is not pretty. It's not. And I'm with you on that, because, we're full gospel Baptist here at the Reynolds household. So listen, we understand church folks and all that kind of stuff. And really what you said is true. They want it to look a certain way. And my thing is, if I pull back your cover, I don't think you're going to like what I see anyway. Mm-hmm. But healing definitely isn't pretty. You have to really, really be honest about what you're trying to get to and what you're willing to let go of. And I think mentally we say, I can let go of X, Y, and Z. But when it comes down to it, like letting go of a significant other, somebody that you shared space with, you shared time with, it's not as easy sometimes as we make it out to be. But when you get to the place where you're like, okay, listen, the buck stops here. Enough is enough. You got Boo, Bay, and everybody else, you got to go too. Like once you get to that place of determination, like I want better for me, then it's easy.
Yeah, it gets easier, but like you said, you like it, right? And so it's hard for you to let go of things that you like or that you're comfortable with. I think that's really that was the issue for me. It's like I got comfortable having this person do certain things for me. And so I found myself like, oh dang, like I can't do this. Like I need like a man to do this for me. So it's like, well dang, who can I call? And it's like, oh well, him. But now it's like if you come in my space, it's those feelings are coming back that, you know, we having this banter that we normally have. Then it's like, oh, I actually kind of missed that. Like he was my, you know, so it's like you almost get clouded a little bit, you know, to like, no, this person is actually not good for me just because of a quick little moment. So no, the process is not pretty. And the ugly part about it is like you have to cut off somebody that you still have feelings for and that you care about. Because me, my block game is strong. So you blocked on everything because I don't want those reminders. You know, if I post a picture, because, you know, I try to look cute a little bit sometimes. I don't need you coming double tapping and liking and commenting because now I want to text you and want you to come through. So it's like, no, you have to set those boundaries and you do have to go through that ugly process of really untaching or like I would say severing a soul tie. You know, and that takes some time for you to really just disconnect yourself from somebody that you have this intimate relationship with.
Absolutely. A knitting of the heart is a hard thing.
Ooh.
So let that message preach itself. Unknit your heart from someone else and from a situation. Woo. Let that one preach on its own. DK, you were going to have a question.
Yeah, well, so let's move this slightly into not necessarily, you know, healing from somebody else. What about it's you? Like say for instance, something happened in your past, right? What are some of the steps that or advice that you give somebody for healing that part of themselves that has nothing to do with whom they're dating or even married to at the time? Whereas like I need to heal from things that I've yet to forgive myself for. So case in point, this is me. Let me be uber transparent and it's going to sound crazy, but I need y'all to really bear with me, right? So I was talking to my oldest brother and this is a grip ago, many moons ago, right? So I had a situation and me and him was talking and then like, you know, I was like, you know, well, however it turns out, my oldest brother's name is John. I was like, so however it turns out, man, like, you know, if I had a choice, I pray, and this is going to sound crazy, but I need y'all to stay with me. So I said, however it turns out, if I had a choice, I would pray that, you know, my father would pass before my mother if I had a choice, because I couldn't deal with my mother leaving me, you know, anytime soon. I can, anybody knows me knows I love my old man, you know what I mean, to life, right? So of course, me being who I am, and of course my old man passed. And so what happened from that point forward, you know, I had this crazy guilt, like, how could I even pray for something? How could I even make that choice for that to, you know what I mean? And it's crazy. First of all, I had no deciding factor when my old man was going to pass, but being as though I had the goal to actually pray that, you know, if I had a choice between parents, right? And so I had to take the time out and even to this day, right, and to this very day, I had to tell myself, like, you're not God. He was going to go when he was going to go. But I still had the, like I said, the goal to be like, and it was selfish. And let me be uber transparent. Let me be 100 across the board. It was selfish because I knew what the level of the pain. Like I knew, like, not saying that I love my mother more, right? But I knew that pain would have been unbearable comparison to the pain that was with my father. And so as I'm standing there talking to my brother and whatnot, like I said, it was, you know, many moons ago. I'm like, so if God had to take one, like I would prefer he take my father because I'm going to be all right, right? And so anytime his birthday comes around, I feel a certain way because I didn't have closure, because I didn't get to know, my old man as best as I could, right? But it dawned on me, just out the clear blue sky, it dawned on me like, you had nothing to do with that. You were, of course, praying from a very selfish place, but you had nothing to do with your old man passing. But, I still harbored that hurt because I was thinking like, wow, how selfish of me to even utter those words. And so reason I'm sharing that with you too, and to the podcast listeners, what advice would you give a person that, is what they need to heal from is self-inflicted, but it's like it's not real. It wasn't never real in the first place, but nonetheless, it's real because you still give it its energy.
Well, I think that you should not give it the energy, because you can only, whatever energy grows where it goes, right? So if you're putting that energy, and it's really negative, if you're feeding into that negative energy, then that's what's going to continue to bubble up inside of you. So one is really just forgiving yourself and really releasing it. I mean, it's like you're just holding on to something. It's like, no, just let it go. You said it, you addressed it, and then you release it. You can't hold on to thoughts, feelings, emotions that you have no control or power over. But the actual power is you releasing it, because if you're not holding it, then it doesn't have any power over you.
Exactly. I came to that realization. It's kind of crazy. Like, we all, maybe y'all not, because y'all kind of on the young side of life, but, like the Peanut character, I believe his name is Linus, the little kid that always holds the blanket. I had to get to a point in my life where I had to let that blanket go. Like that although I prayed what I prayed, that still wasn't my call. And it, that was through no fault of my own. Don't get me wrong. It was a process, and the process, I had to go through just constantly telling myself like, it was what it was. It doesn't, make me a bad person. It's just that, it was what it was at the time. And it took a minute. Like, don't get me wrong. Once every blue moon, it still hit, like birthdays, Father's Days, things of that nature. But for the most part, it's not, it's not as dark as it once was. Like, I really feel I guess shameful. I was really hurt. Like, how could I even bring myself to even have those thoughts? But, time heals all wounds. And, as I move forward, as I press forward, I seen it for what it wasn't exactly was what you said. It was me giving something in the past energy. And I think that's the main thing with a lot of people. They have instances that's in the past. There's nothing you can do about the past. Like, I can't do shit about yesterday. Nothing. Not a damn thing. I can't do nothing about yesterday. Right? The only reason that yesterday even exists because I can remember and I give energy to those memories. That's it and that's all. But once you start to remove that energy from those memories, especially if they're detrimental to where you're trying to, where you're trying to grow to, then that's where the healing starts to come in at, right? If you have a situation whereas you have something current going on, like say you and a loved one are not seeing eye to eye, or you and a coworker is not seeing eye to eye, or you, a spouse, girlfriend, is not seeing eye to eye, that's the present. You can heal from that right there in that moment because it's the present. So you can have that conversation with someone and be like, ABC is not working, or the way that you're treating me is not working, or the way that I'm feeling about myself is not working, right? So you can do something about, present hurts, present hangups. But as far as the past hurts and the past hangups, that's nothing but memories that's, giving energy to. And like Jessica said, like, you got to nix that shit and nix it ASAP.
Death is death. And the thing is, you can't really estimate how you're going to deal with grief until you're in that space. And I think there's a couple instances, like my pastor says this to me a lot. He said there's a couple, like 5 things that life does not teach you, that life has to teach you, that church does not teach you, that the Bible does not teach you. 1 is the death of a parent. 2 is the death of your child, if you ever have to do that. 1 is being married, 1 is being divorced, and 1 is dealing with all your emotions in that. And so we're good to have really good churchy sayings and, it'll, time heals all wounds and things like that. I'm not shooting shots. That time heals all wounds, but until you sit in that space of why, like what was the root that got me here, until you sit in that uncomfortable space, the unpretty space, and say, these are my thoughts, this is why this went there, I don't think you get to heal.
Facts.
Mhm.
Because you have to go through your go through, right? Because what happens is like you just like, you got somebody come over the house, so you do a quick cleanup. You're not really cleaning house. You might shove some shit here, put some shit here, make sure they stay in the
Right.
living room. If they want something to drink, you make sure you go in the kitchen, you go get it yourself. So what you're doing is you're managing, but you're not dealing. You're managing the
Mhm.
pain, but you're not dealing with the pain in regards of actually, going through it. And like I said something earlier about the healing process is a very unpretty process, which is true, right? And I don't mean that you got to be blubbering. I don't mean that you got to be on your knees, on your face, and whatnot. Why me? Why you don't you don't have to go through all of that, right? But nonetheless, internally, you do have to go through whatever it is that you have to go through and learn said lesson before you can move forward. I think a lot of times that people will still go through what they go through because they've yet to learn the lesson of whatever that situation was trying to teach them. Like you're not going to move forward. Like great movie, and I always reference movies. My podcast listeners knows this, right? The Matrix. I want to say it was in the second one. He got to, I want to say the gatekeeper. I could be wrong, but he got to the dude, and the dude was like, and I'm talking about Neo, and the dude was like, look, dude, you've been here 7 times before, and every time you get here, you go save the world, but you never go save love, right? And so Neo flipped the script, and he went and saved love, and that changed the whole dynamics of the Matrix. And so what happens is, the reason I reference that movie is you'll keep going through whatever it is that you're going through until you learn said lesson. Like you can go ahead and shove shit, manage shit, push this over
Absolutely.
here, get into bad relationships, get into relationships that's okay, get in relationships that's less than you, get in relationships that doesn't elevate you, that doesn't prop you up, that doesn't propel you forward. You can do all of that, and you're just only managing the pain that's within you. But once you start to like move shit out the way and deal with what's at hand, whether it be in mind, heart, spirit, once you start to deal with that, you're gonna still be on repeats until you learn said lesson.
Absolutely.
Very true.
So Jessica, what is the path moving forward?
The path moving forward to me is to embrace this season of surrender that I'm in. Being more honest about the type of woman I am, addressing negative habits, trying to replace them with positive habits. Because you're going to always have habits. They can either be good habits or bad habits. So just replacing them, and just continuing to be transparent. I know that I believe, other people get healed, or at least it triggers them to want to start their healing process when they hear about mine and what I've gone through. So just continue to do that, be transparent. And I know that one of the things that is a part of my divine assignment is to show women to be transparent and to be themselves. You don't have to be inside of a box to be Team God. You don't have to wear the granny outfit to church to be saved. Most of those people are crazy anyway. Just being free, showing them what it looks like to be free and not be bound to a version of themselves that they created in their mind or other people created for them. So that's what's next.
That's a really good point. I mean, church life in itself, Jessica, could be a whole nother podcast. Just you and me. I mean, we could go, we could lace it up, down, tear it down. Because I said right before COVID, I bought all these blazers. I was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Because listen, I put in a graphic tee underneath a blazer with some jeans and some heels. We're gonna call it Sunday. That's what we're gonna do." I went to church this Sunday to handle something at the business office, and I walk in with a coffee and Jesus t-shirt, and my pastor just shook his head. He said, "You go get over any way you can." I said, "Listen, I'm over getting dressed for church." I said, "Listen, virtual church, non-church, I don't care anymore." I said, "This is how you all gonna have to take me in the new century. Like, this is what it is. Post-COVID is t-shirts, blazers, and jeans. That's all I'm coming to church in. I'm not doing this whole pomp and circumstance anymore. It's a wrap."
I'm here for it.
Listen, I'm over it. Over it. Stick a fork in the pomp and circumstance. Well, DK, you have any final questions?
No, I think y'all touched everything. Really went deep on, the whole healing aspect. Greatly appreciate people being, transparent and, no, I'm good.
Well, Miss Jessica, we thank you again. We're looking forward to your new books coming out and the ones you already have out. Again, we'll put your information in the show notes so the listeners can reach out to you and get some help on their journey to transparency and healing. But this is where we wrap it up. And DK, waxes wide and not deep.
True. First of all, Jessica, thank you for coming on the show. Greatly appreciate it. Greatly sharing yourself, your journey, where you at in life. And when you do drop your book, please come back so we can delve deeper into the whole healing process. If you don't mind, please.
I will love that. Thank you.
Not a problem. Okay, this is the part of the show where I wax wide, not deep. I'm fat and short, so I cannot wax deep, but I can wax wide. This is Daily Lev Jones. I ain't gonna be long-winded because I think y'all got a lot of jewels already. I need one of y'all to help me out, because both of y'all been talking about church a lot. So before I begin to wax anything, I need one of y'all to hit me with the serenity prayer. Can y'all help me out with that? Right. Come on. Come on, you church goer. Come on.
Listen, we don't have the serenity prayer.
That is not at church.
Yeah, that's not a church thing. That is sobriety. That is a sobriety AA meeting prayer. No, sir.
It's a prayer.
Let me tell you about Pentecostal Baptists and Kojic people. We ain't got recited prayers. We get the deacon who is 90-some years old on Sunday morning, go up and go into Jesus. He gonna start out with Father God in the name of Jesus, and then he go. And either you're going to do it or
Jesus, Lord have mercy.
What'd you say, Jessica?
I come to you.
Okay, as humbly as I know how.
Anyway,
listen. I've been Baptist and Pentecostal. My pastor called us Pentebaptist. Listen, I don't know nothing about no serenity prayer. All I know is about Deacon Jackson, who gonna get up on Sunday morning.
Right. So I apologize.
I pulled it up.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, it is God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference.
Thank you, Miss Leann. I greatly appreciate that. And that's just it. That's exactly what it takes to heal, the serenity prayer, right? You got to realize what you have power over. You got to realize what you don't have power over, and you can only change what you have power over. And like I said earlier, if something's current in your life, if you have a happenstance in your life right now, you have something going on in your life right now, and you at conflict with someone or something right now, then you have the power to change that right now. But if something happened in your past, if something happened years ago, you have no power whatsoever to change that. You have the power to accept it, learn from it, and move on. Bottom line, know the difference.
Very well said, DK. Listen, this is your girl. Is that Thorny Chic, Karen KK Rose? This is the Love Is podcast. You spend an hour with us every week, and I am so appreciative. Listen, y'all have been letting my voice go where my feet have yet to travel, and for that, I say thank you. I love the love you give me and DK, no matter what antics we might be on a Wednesday. It goes down on a Wednesday. Every Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Again, we appreciate you so much, DK. Tell people bye-bye.
Bye-bye, people. Bye-bye.
Sing it, Daddy. I knew I was going to get you. Miss Jessica, thank you again. If you don't mind, tell the listeners bye-bye as well.
Bye-bye, listeners.
This is the Love Is podcast, and we're out.
Peace.
This episode of the Love Is podcast has ended. But please be sure to subscribe for more great content on sex, entrepreneurship, life, love, and how to get through the BS of it all. And don't forget to rate and leave a review so we can continue to bring more of that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and, dare I say, the lovable a-hole, Mr. DK Walker. See you on the next podcast.